This is my record player. And this is my final review of Toki for the NES. Toki, The Quest for Manhood. Like most video games from the late 80s and early 90s, the story of Toki is based around rescuing your girlfriend. But this time, the evil cross-dressing witch doctor, Vukamedlo, has also turned you into an ape. His biggest mistake? He turned you into an ape that can spit balls. The game was originally an arcade game made by the now-defunct TAD Corporation. After its huge success in the arcades, they decided to port it to a bunch of different consoles within the next 2 years after its 1989 release. Toki was released on the Atari ST, the Amiga, the Atari Lynx, and of course, the Nintendo Entertainment System. A couple years later, Sega actually got the rights to it and reprogrammed the game to make an exclusive Genesis version known as Toki, Going Ape Spit. Although the game had better graphics, the controls and music were just terrible. It also had a couple new levels, but it just wasn't worth it to me. The point of the game is basically to get through each of the different levels, collecting fruit and killing enemies for points, as well as collecting various power-ups and coins to gain extra lives. Each level is its own unique location, and although the majority of the enemies are fairly recycled throughout the game, there are a few level-specific ones. As you make your way through each level, you'll find a bunch of different power-ups that make this slow-paced platformer feel a lot like a run-and-gun shoot-'em-up. You can get everything from a tri-shot to flame breath to the oh-so-powerful charge shot. It's not only your attacks that can be powered up, there's also a little referee item that gives you the invincible football helmet. Once you've acquired the football helmet, anything that touches you dies. The helmet always seems to be placed in dangerous places, but it's so worth it. Another neat little power-up that I actually find kinda useless in most cases are the rabbit shoes. They're little white running shoes that allow you to jump a little higher. You get them by grabbing the rabbit item. Each different level has its own trials. The first level has the fireball head factory thing. The second level has the cannon monkey, underwater fire breathing, and the stupid easy merman mid-boss. The third level has key-wielding phoenixes that you have to kill in order to continue on, as well as these assholic baby dragons. The fourth level is your typical ice level filled with red penguins and flying poop yeti heads. The fifth level is the jungle, and it has tons of new enemies that aren't in any of the other levels, like the annoying spewing plant and the invincible rolling green onion rings. The sixth and final level probably kicks the most ass though, because it has the roller coaster portions that are actually quite difficult until you get used to them. It's kinda groundbreaking playing a roller coaster portion as an ape in an NES game that was released 3 years prior to Rare's mega hit Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. The only real shitty thing about the game are the boss fights. Most boss fights are actually easier fought when you're impatient. When I was a kid I'd call them tricks, but they're really just common sense things an impatient person would do. Some bosses can be defeated by standing beneath them and firing continuously at them or their weak spot. The bosses that can't be beaten by this rule are the cakewalk first boss, the giant poop monster who basically just stands there waiting to be hit while you dodge his burps, and the mammoth who also just stands there and waits for you to kill it while jumping over the odd tusk. The final boss, however, can be a complete asshole. Despite looking like a chick, then transforming into some giant horned skeleton demon, the boss has 2 stages. The first stage, you have to shoot your balls at his cloak. Once the cloak is gone, you have to dodge like crazy while trying to fire as many shots into his heart as possible. After a few tries, the asshole will die, and you'll get back your manhood as well as the babe. Despite the game being fairly easy, it really is fun to play. Somehow the fact that you can beat the game every time you play it adds to the fun factor, which isn't always the case when it comes to easier games. All in all, it's one of my favorite childhood NES games. Who would have thought that a slow-paced platforming shoot-'em-up starring an ape would have been such a good time? Well, apparently Golgoth Studios thought so, because they're actually working on an HD remix version of the game that's due to be out on the Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and WiiWare. This has been my final review of Toki for the NES. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to leave you with the teaser for the HD remix version. Have a good one.